Welcome to the She Invests Intuitively podcast, a Soulful Valley podcast for women who are done dimming their light, done playing small, and ready to rise. Here, we don't chase money. We align with it. We don't listen to market noise. We trust the quiet power of our inner voice. I'm Carey, author, publisher, and intuitive entrepreneur. I turned debt and heartbreak into financial freedom, and now I'm here to remind you, investing in yourself is the most powerful decision you'll ever make. These short, soul-infused episodes and occasional guest conversations with kindred visionaries are your permission slip to move with purpose, lead with intuition, and receive with ease. Let's activate your next level together. Welcome back, beautiful soul. This is She Invests Intuitively. In the last episode, I shared what happened when everything fell away. The endings, the losses, the return of my name, the remembering of who I was before life asked me to become someone else. Today, this episode is about what came next. Not the big wins, not the overnight success, but the quieter work, the learning to trust the new life as it began to take shape. When the podcast launched, there was no grand plan. No polished strategy, no expectation of where it would lead. It began as a place to speak, to share honestly, to let my voice exist again without needing permission. And something shifted. Not externally at first, internally. For the first time in years, I wasn't bracing. I wasn't performing stability. I wasn't trying to survive a system that wasn't built for me. I was listening. The podcast gave me rhythm. A reason to show up gently, a container for truth. And slowly people began to listen. Messages arrived, quiet ones, personal ones. Not about numbers, not about metrics, about resonance. You made me feel less alone. I felt seen when you said that. I've never heard anyone speak about money like this, and I realised something important. This wasn't about rebuilding a business first. It was about rebuilding trust. Trust in my body, trust in my intuition, trust in my voice. Around the same time, the poetry continued to flow, not as something I sat down to do, but as something that arrived when I was present enough to receive it. The poems weren't separate from the podcast. They were part of the same remembering, a way of translating intuition into language the heart understands. Money too began to soften. Not dramatically, not instantly, but my relationship with it changed. I stopped forcing timelines, stopped shaming myself for what hadn't happened yet, stopped measuring my worth by productivity. Instead, I began asking different questions. What feels sustainable in my body? What feels honest right now? What am I being asked to tend to next? And from those questions, small aligned actions emerged. One conversation, one recording, one decision at a time. This is the part of the journey that often gets skipped. The middle, the space between collapse and confidence. But this is where integration happens, where intuition stops being an idea and becomes a way of living. Where money stops being something to conquer and becomes something to relate to differently. Where creativity stops being a luxury and becomes a lifeline. If you're here in this place, building quietly, listening more than pushing, wondering if it's enough, I want you to hear this. You are not behind. You are integrating, and integration is what makes growth sustainable. The life that followed for me didn't arrive all at once. It unfolded through books, through collaborations, through conversations that opened doors I didn't even know existed yet. But all of it was built on this foundation, listening, trusting, honouring my body, letting intuition lead. In the next episode, we'll begin exploring how this inner work translated into outer creation, how voice became visibility, how poetry became publishing, and how money began to flow again in a way that didn't cost me my health. For now, just sit with this. What part of your life is asking for patience, not pressure? What is already working quietly beneath the surface? You don't need to rush the answer. Just listen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this path with me, and I'll meet you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to She Invests Intuitively. If this episode lit something up inside you, trust it, share it. Take one aligned action before the day ends. Remember, your energy is your currency. Your intuition is your greatest investment strategy. And you are already the woman you've been waiting for. Be sure to subscribe, leave a soulful review, and visit sheinvestsintuitively.com. Here's our disclaimer. The stories and insights shared in this podcast are for inspiration and educational purposes only and are not financial advice. Always trust your intuition and seek professional guidance when needed. When you've finished here, come and join me over on the Soulful Valley podcast, where inspiring authors, healers and visionaries share their journeys of awakening, purpose and transformation. Until next time, keep rising, keep trusting, keep investing intuitively.